Good morning, team. How's everybody doing today? We're set. We're ready to go. We own good stocks. We have a good key list. We know what to do. We know when to do it. We know when to buy right. We know when to sell some into profit. We know when to limit and how to limit losses. We know how to ride trends. This isn't a pep talk. This is just cold, hard reality. If we don't know those things, then we have problems. And by the way, thank you, Paul, and good morning to you, buddy. And thank you, Tony. Also, we always know this. At times, the stock won't work out. And what do we have to do? Limit losses. Limit losses. Hold on one second. So we pull everything together, and it works. I'll also share this with you. I get off on a tangent here, but I think it's important. Just make sure drink water, drink some fluids in the morning. Stay hydrated. You go, what the heck? This is about stocks. Well, let's be very pragmatic. If our health is not good, it derails most other areas of life. And so we take care of ourselves. We're really keyed on clean and simple entry, riding trends, lessening stress. It's always this. This is my mantra. If this, then that. And that makes it easy for us. And I like that. We know what to look for. And I can't stress that enough. We love, like right here, we love clean and simple base breakouts. It's nice. We'll lift this up here a little bit, refresh it. Right there. And it had a volume pickup. This is a leading group. And please know, this isn't a case of Pat Walker thumping his chest. No, this is simply a case of let's analyze charts and develop that foundation on what to look for. Team, I'm going to be brutally blunt. Most people never take the time to study charts to figure out what are a couple. You don't need many, 2 or 3 viable, predictable, profitable chart setups. Stick with them and forget everything else. I'm not kidding. I've had people say, well, let's look at this. Let's look. And then pretty soon you're going, I'm flying out of control here. And so we focus on clean and simple. And yes, I know you've looked at a lot of charts. I have too. And you've seen it's like, oh, I'll try this and it doesn't work. I don't want that. I want to find clean and simple because I found it works the best. And if we're pragmatic and you know what I'm going to say, why simple chart patterns? It increases the potential. I see it, and you see it, and everybody in the world sees it. Does that not increase the potential that they'll buy too? Yeah, so that's what we do, and I like that. And good morning to everybody. It's good to see you. And thank you for the kind words there. Appreciate it, Tony. Let's see if we got anything else here. So that's what we're after. Also, this is a fact. It's not an opinion. We know that stocks that have simple chart patterns increase the odds that they will buy also. Other people will buy. We also know that leading groups produce leading stocks. It's common sense. This is a leading group, but there's no leading stocks. That's mutually exclusive. That can't happen, okay? That's the statistician coming out at me, sorry. You have to have both components working for you, all right? Let's see here. Happy New Year to you also there, Apollo. Good to see you. Oh, my son is called Patrick. Well, guess what? Then I'm completely unbiased. I think it's great. So we're ready to roll. We've got our key list. It's not really large. I'm working really hard. I have to share this with you on making the key list smaller. Takes a lot of work to put this together. It takes a lot of work. Smaller. So we're about to open. Let's see what we have. Let's see what happens here now. Okay. Okay, we're off. Board lifts, good. Raise the alerts a little bit. Spider goes off, that's good. Like that. Take that off, that's good. And it lifts a little bit. Take this off. It's breaching that downward sloping trend line. This would be a very aggressive entry, team, just to let you know. It can work, all right? But A lot of overhead supply. You got to be a little careful with that. Just wanted to share that with you, okay? Mosaic lifts a little bit. That's a nice base. I like to go through these. Tesla's down just a little bit, but still good. I'm going to address Tesla right now. If this takes out yesterday's highs, that could be an add-on. Please, I encourage you, don't make it a new buy. It would be really aggressive. If you really want to, just buy smaller, okay? I can't stress that enough. Ford is good. This is quite telling. If you're looking at my screen, QLD is down and SSO is up at this point in time. ANET's dropping a little bit. If this keeps dropping, we'll sell a little bit more and lock in more profits. We've sold 25% already. There we go. We always have the alerts set. Apple's okay. We'll just let it work. Applied Materials, just sitting here. This needs to start pushing away. We've sold some. If this doesn't push away, we're going to sell it. We're not going to have any problems. Enough. Advanced Micro Devices is lifting for us. That's good to see. Let's see what happens. What do we do when we see something like this? Take it to the 30-minute chart. Here it is. You see that? Look at this. Got kind of a cup with a handle formation right here. Here's 10. You know what to do. We take it to 10. Why do we go to 10? It's early in the morning. Let's see if some volume. That's it. That's the routine. I also want you to know this, team. I tell you everything that I know. I don't hold anything back. Not that I know everything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it would be morally wrong not to share everything. Advanced Micro Devices is working for it. You can see that lifted. We're in good shape with it. I'll just sit with it for right now. Overall, I don't mind buying a long base breakout near the open, but add-ons and things like this are more aggressive. IWM is lifting up a little bit. We'll do that. That's the Dow. That's fine. Here's the spiders hanging in. That's good to see. I'll put an alert right there if it starts to drop, and that helps us. Goldman Sachs triggered on the gap up, as you know. So now what do? Let's do the real world here, team. This was a keyless stock. It gapped up. It's like, well, what do we do? Take it down to 10. There's the 10-minute chart. You don't need to look at the 30-minute and hourly, okay? Just rely on 10 this early in the morning. What could be an entry? I'm going to give you the game plan here. If you want to buy Goldman Sachs, this is the setup. If it takes out the highs of this first 10-minute bar, that could be a buy. That is an aggressive buy. Why? Because it's already triggered. It's extended in price. If you buy it taking out the highs of this bar, what's your stop for some? If it takes out the lows of this bar, you have to sell some. Okay? So that's an aggressive setup. Be aware of that. Just wanted to share that with you. That's, by the way, that's the real world. That's not textbook. Ford is lifting. Good. Yes, and we've driven a Ford lately. How about that? Okay, I'm sorry. Dad humor. There you go. My kids were in here. They just shake their head. They're probably shaking their head and they're not in here. High materials is good. Just watching these. Just seeing what's going on here. This is my routine, by the way. This is what I do. UCTT, it would be really good to take out the top of this bar. Why is it important to take out the top of this bar right here, team? I'll get rid of this little hash mark for us. Why is it important to take out the top of this bar? Because that's an ugly reversal bar. Ran up and reversed down. Also note this. There's another reversal bar right here on volume. It tells us there's some sellers up here. We need to overcome this top right here on really heavy volume. What do? Take it to 10. And there's decent volume here. There's serious selling volume here. Take it to 30-minute. There we go. Now you can see the longer base. So that's the game plan. You know, we talk a lot about clean and simple base entries. There you go. There you go. Like that. That is good. Also, team, I need to share this with you, and this is important. The Nasdaq comp is down. You see that right here? By the way, we can do something real quick. We'll drag this up a little bit. Let's just take a look at the ETFs. You got some red and green, 50-50. IBD write-up, you got a little bit more red than green, folks. Max list, a little bit more green than red. Right there now, you've got a good feel for what's going on in the market, where there's strength and where there's weakness. There you go. And again, right here, NASDAQ comp is down just a little bit. It's okay though, no panic. Just a feel for what's going on. On semiconductor is still working. You could say, well, I'd like to add more. I got to drag this here a bit so we can see the dates. There we go. On semiconductor is still working. You say, oh, let's add more. What's missing? There's no volume. There's no volume. Semtech, thank you for asking. Lifting up, what do? It's early in the morning, take it to 10. There's 10, decent volume on the 10. Looks decent. And again, this is the 10-minute chart. We don't need, if it's good on the 10 right now, I don't need to look at the hourly and 30-minute. That covers it this early in the morning. So we go here and you say, okay, that's a potential buy. It's triggered. You could buy. But do we go big? No, we always start small. Team, I'm going to share something. I say this a lot, but this is for new VIPs too. Never, ever make one buy your entire purchase. If your goal is to get to 100 shares, your first buy should be 50 shares, your second buy should be 30 shares, your third buy should be 20 shares. 50, 30, 20 to get to 100. Ease in, ease in. I can't stress that enough. Goldman Sachs lifted pretty good here. Yeah, Goldman Sachs was a good gap up. So, what do we do with this right now? We'll watch it for a little bit and see what happens, okay? I mean, that was a fast move, really fast move. You had to buy that open, folks. You had to buy the open. That's tough to do. That's very tough to do. In light of, this is not, you're not going to see this chart pattern right here. You're not going to see this chart pattern in any book saying, this is what you look for, this is the setup you want. You won't. You can say, this is a good volume bar. Yeah, and this is one ugly volume bar, and this ain't so good either. There you go. So, way to control risk is if you buy, you start easier. That'll help. There's many ways to control risk. One is to limit losses, right? The other one is to ease into the stock. On is still working. We'll just let it work. Lucid is underperforming at this point in time, and I don't like that. This needs to lift. If this doesn't lift, we're going to sell a little Lucid. We're down 70 cents, okay? But we manage it. We just manage it. Just looking at the day chart here. Don't like the action, take it to 10. Some selling volume. And again, if this keeps slipping, we're going to sell 1/2 of Lucid. Why? We're not going to have any problems. You've seen ones, they lift and they just keep going. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to sell 1/2 of Lucid. I'm going to post it. $50%. Okay, it's posted. As you can, you're going to see it in the VIP feed, so it's official, all right? And we don't ever want any problems, okay? I can't stress that enough. I'm doing this in a couple of accounts. Moving it around. This one, for example. There we go. Keeps dropping. We're going to sell the rest. Team, we're down 70 cents. 70 cents. I don't like losses, but we keep them small. That helps. Semtech? Good eyes, yes. Good read. That's the power of a team. Good volume on Semtech. You're correct. There's a 10-minute chart. There's the volume. That's viable. That's buyable. There you go. There you go. That works. That can be bought. Semtech could be bought. Tesla is coming back. That's good to see. Ultra clean. Lifted. We discussed UCTT. That's good to see. Here's SMH. SMH is hitting highs for the move. This is a cup with a handle formation. Let's take a look at the 10. A decent volume. Let's look at 30 minutes just to see how that does play out. We'll watch this and see what happens. That might be a buy. What's nice about the ETFs team? You own the entire sector. Okay? You own the entire sector. And we like that. That's a good thing. Volume on Marvell. Thank you. Let's take a look here. Hold on. I don't think I have it in my database. I like how y'all are on these stocks, by the way. That's good work. Yeah, good volume on Marvell. There you go. Yeah. Good eyes there, Bob. Here's the daily. What do we do, team? You can say, oh, that's a decent base. What do? You take it to 10. There you go. That can be confirmation to buy. There you go. That's the real world, real time. And I hope it helps you.
Hey, Pat. Good morning.
Good morning, Pablo. How you doing, buddy?
Very good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Happy New Year to you, man.
Happy New Year. Hey, Pat, we do have a few questions that have stacked up. If and when you're interested in taking some.
Oh yeah, heck, gosh, I don't see. It's weird. I've got the thing open and I don't see him. But anyway, I saw this SMTC one, and that's it. Yes, give it a couple of minutes, and well, no, here, hang on.
Just holler when you're ready.
We'll do it up. You're good, Pablo. You're always good. Okay, Tesla's still good. Let's look at 10. Yeah, Tesla's good. Let it work. Let her work. You added, you bought, you added, you added. Let that thing work and see what happens. Good, good, good. We talked about last week, by the way. I think we even made a video on it. We talked about this cup and a handle. Remember? Cup, handle, and a handle's falling on decreasing volume. That's very constructive. Very constructive. And I hate that it gapped up so much, but that's it. There it is. It works. Right there. Boom. Off to the races. Okay, I'm going to look here, team, real quick. Hang on. Apple's still okay. AMD's all right. Ford is good. Lucid's doing nothing. ANET hanging in. Avgo still good. Price alert set. I'm scanning the charts for us. Okay, Tesla's lifting. I'm going to look at Tesla again. Yeah. Let Tesla work. You're in good shape. You're in good shape. I'd let it work. Okay, Paul. Yeah, let's get to questions. The VIPs are priority. Let's do it, buddy. Thank you for your help, sir. I'm ready to roll.
Okay, I'm going to skip around just a little bit because there was a couple of people asking to check APP and MOS.
Hey,
And
Mosaic,
then there's a little bit more involved questions.
Okay, here's Mosaic. Mosaic lifted across this top, had decent volume yesterday. Okay, picking up today, take it to 10. Pretty good volume on that first 10-minute bar today. Here it is. By the way, team, I encourage you, color code your charts, green and red or whatever you pick, and color code the corresponding volume. It will really help you. I'm not kidding, to see strength and weakness faster. I'm sure you know that, but I don't ever want to assume anything. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. I want to address everything. So it looks good. It looks good. Pretty good volume on that first 10 minute. Just, you know the tactics. You never buy a full position at once. The most, I'll share this with you, team, the most you should ever buy at the first buy is 50%. TR. Okay, we'll set this here. See that price alert? I don't want it losing the 8, and I don't want it losing the lows of this bar. Okay, so we'll watch this and see what happens. ULD, no power yet. Okay, Paul, I'm ready for another one, good buddy.
Alrighty. From YouTube, Parsley G. Good morning, Pat. Happy New Year. I hope you've been well. I haven't had any time for the trading for months now, but I miss you and I'll be back. This is Virginia. I'm loving this real-time stream. Oh, not really a question, just a statement. Sorry about that.
Nice, very good. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Virginia. I appreciate it.
So we covered SMTC. That was the next three questions. You covered APP, Marvell. I believe you'd already covered. MOS we covered. Then the next question is YouTube, Eduardo Rico. How do you avoid indicator addiction? I really have a problem.
It's a great question. Years ago, decades ago, I did a lot of research and thought, oh, well, stochastics looks like something I could really use. And then I thought, you know what? Then I read more. I was a research hound. Hey, MACD could be good. Oh, on balance volume. This is awesome. This is something I could use. I'll tell you what, I started using these various indicators and it literally became paralysis by analysis. Too much stuff, too many inputs. And here's where it really got screwed up. You'd be looking at two different oscillators and one oscillator would show the stock overbought and the other stock would show the oscillator on the same stock would show it maybe slightly overbought or maybe slightly oversold. And you're going, which one do I use? They're both supposed to do the same thing. It screwed me up so much. You know what I finally did? I started getting rid of him. And he's in this room right now, and he is a wizard, let me tell you. I'm going to mention his name. But the idea was, start getting rid of him. Start getting rid of all this stuff. And I will tell you this, my returns started improving dramatically. I didn't have anything clouding me. I'll keep it clean. Anything clouding my judgment. Price and volume. Price and volume. It works. Ford's working, by the way. That's good. Okay, Paul, I'm ready for another one, buddy. I'm locked on the charts too, by the way, folks. On is still good. Here's on, by the way, folks. Still good. Goldman Sachs lifted. Let me look at Goldman Sachs. Yeah, Goldman Sachs was a fast lift. Gapped up. If Goldman Sachs had closed stronger yesterday, I would have bought some. But it tailed off and I wanted to be cautious. That's not, let's do the real world. That's not the best close. It tailed off. Yesterday into the close. This is a 30-minute chart. What do you see into the close? Serious selling volume. All right? And I have to live with that. I have to act on that. So anyway, there you go.
When you're ready, Pat.
Why Ford with negative? Good question. I'm going to answer William real quick.
Yep.
Here's why.
Yep.
One of the factors that we use, leading stocks and leading groups. This is a leading stock, and I think it's the number one group. It's the same group as Tesla. It's a clean and simple base formation. Leading stocks and it has a high composite rating and a great chart. Now, I will tell you, if this wasn't in a leading group, we wouldn't be looking at it. That simple. Good question. By the way, love your questions. Hey, Pablo, I'm ready.
Okay, from YouTube, the Green Egg Sand Cam says, good morning in Google.
All righty, let's look at it. Google is just hovering here on the 50-day. All right, it had a decent day yesterday, but really not that great. It actually closed below where it opened. It's not that powerful. It didn't demonstrate a lot of power. However, that being said, what can be a potential buy? Taking out yesterday's highs. And then what do? We take it to 30-minute. Here it is. By the way, look at yesterday's highs. That's not the best bar. Here's the hourly. That's not the best bar, is it? Look at that. It gapped up, it ran up and closed down on heavy volume. One of the heaviest bars for over a week and a half. So what does that tell us? There's sellers here. It needs to take out the highs of this bar right here, folks. That bar. Take that out with real volume. There you go. That's the real world. That's 30 years of doing this in that statement. Gosh, I feel old all of a sudden. Gee whiz. Just kidding. All right, Paul, we'll take another one here, brother.
All right. FCX could be a good place to add on. That's a question.
FCX?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you. Frank Charlie X-ray. Yes, here's what I would look for. Good question. By the way, team, never be afraid to ask a question. Never. Don't think, oh, that might be a bad question. There are no bad questions. This is your life. This is your money. I take them seriously. So fire away. This looks good. Now, it fell. If you want to see something here, take a look at this. Look at the volume bars. Down a little bit on reversal bar. Another reversal bar. Look at this bar. Close near the lows. Close near the lows. All right. There indicates there's a seller up here. Take it to the hourly chart. You can see these tops across here. Some volume coming into it. Take it to 30-minute. You can say, yeah, I see it. It's this bar right here. It lifted, but there wasn't heavy volume on it. And then the next two bars, they took it right back. There wasn't a lot of power, not a lot of conviction. Go back to the daily and say, what could we do? We own down lower, okay? We're in this down lower, okay? We're in good shape. Would I add to it right now? No. Just wait. Lucid slipping a little bit here. Hold on. Bear with me. Yep, you see that selling volume? Okay. We're down a point on Lucid. Have a big loss. I am selling Lucid and I'm going to post it. Keep losses very small, team. No day trading here. I don't look at that 5-minute chart junk. But the best ones, and when they don't, it's a telltale sign. Oh, I'm probably talking too loud, aren't I? Sorry. Lucid. So I'm selling Lucid. Okay? We're small. We didn't have a lot. I'm selling Lucid. That's it. The best ones, team, just push away. They just go. And if they don't, you take them off. That's it. It's that simple. And I'm taking it off that page right there. And I'll take the price alerts off. And we'll leave it here. Now, I'm still going to leave it down here if it comes back. I'm not saying it will, but if it does thrust through yesterday's highs with really heavy volume, that's the 50-day, that could be a potential. Also, I need to share this with you. Take a look at that setup. That was a viable setup yesterday. It lifted through those tops on a pickup in volume. There you go. Here's the 30-minute chart. We'll do it on the hourly. Look at that. Look at the volume that came into it. There you go. I'd do it again. I would do it again. Why? Because more times than not, it works and runs. And that is our edge. And when it doesn't work, we sell for a very small loss. And that is our edge. We are very good buyers. This sounds arrogant. We are very good sellers. And I had a guy on Wall Street Week, a relation through a guy on Wall Street Week, who said the same thing. So, aren't you glad I haven't had any coffee this morning?
Well, if you're ready for a few more.
Well, sure. Let's have some fun.
All right. This question is, hi, Pat. Can Goldman Sachs be a buy over 407.4?
I can't believe it. That's like divine. I was just looking at it. Look, you can see the chart. That's what I was looking at just now.
Well, I was trying to move these along since I saw that, so.
Oh, you're pretty good. Thank you, Paul. It looks good. It made a fast move here. If you buy it, just don't buy a lot of shares. Control risk. There you go. On Goldman Sachs. It's a bit extended. Folks, this is a bit extended in price from down here. Be aware of that. It could be prone to pulling back some. So how do we control risk? If we buy less shares. That helps us. We're big on risk control. I can't stress that enough. I encourage you, please don't ever try to make a killing in a stock. And no vengeance trading either. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Don't try to get even with a stock. Don't try to get back. Don't try to get it back with, well, I'll make it back on this one. No, let each stock, each chart stand on its own merits. That will really help you. Okay, ANET's pulling back a little bit. We're going to lock in a little more. If you own ANET, sell another 25%. Okay, sold some, sell some more, lock in more. And I'll post that, okay? By the way, if you notice, I'm not looking at a bunch of, 5-minute, 10-minute charts. I'm just looking at the daily. All righty. And I did that. And now I will put it on the chart. It's my little diary right here. Notice we didn't buy more AMD real quick here. That's why we wait. We wait. Yep, good eyes there, but worse things. I rarely buy right at the open. This is the first bar today. I'll rarely take that fast on a shorter base breakout. And this was a pullback following through today. Remember that. Okay, team, here's what I'm going to suggest. NTR, you sold some into strength 3 times. All right, it's pulling back here. If this drops a little further, I'm going to suggest you sell the rest for a profit and take the stock flat. We're watching closely. Let's take it to 10. There's some volume there. There's some. If you own NTR, Nancy Tom Roger, you bought here, you sold several times and made money, sell the rest and lock in profits on NTR. And I will post that. Sell the rest. Lock it in. Good work. Okay. And I'm sending it out. But you already knew about it because you hear me talking about it. And then what do? Here's my little diary. Sold. The reason I do this is because years ago when I was managing money, I had to do stuff like this because if not, you'd go crazy. Especially when it was brokerage accounts and at Fidelity too. Woo! They loved me down there in Texas. Here's the cross current for you, team. The Dow at this moment is up and the Nasdaq's down a little bit. Did you notice, by the way, the spiders are up, right? You see this? QLD is down. What do we own? We own SSO. There you go. S&P 500 was leading. That's why we went with it. Tesla, we did not buy more. Watch this and see what happens. I would love it. You know what I would love? I will tell you, is if Tesla would, you've got a big cup here. If this could just do this if it could do that, that would be, here's the weekly, that would be sweet potato pie. If it does, we'll be ready. Oh, what's the charting platform you're using again?
Hey, Pat,
Yes.
we've got quite a few questions ahead of that one.
Oh, let's hit them.
From YouTube, there was a question about Box, BOX.
Okay.
We've got quite a few of these here, and
No,
I
no
think
problem.
some of
Let's
these
hit them.
folks
Okay,
need
let's
to
do it.
go through the order. So
Yeah, we'll hit them. Thanks, Paul. You're awesome, brother. Here we go. You bought that breakout. You should have sold some into strength. And as it's falling, do not. Here's a foundation for all of us. Never let a good profit turn into a loss. There were people, folks, that bought this here. This is what the VIPs know. They bought this here and they would have sold into strength. Can you imagine buying that breakout and you're up here and now you're losing money? No. Cardinal sin, don't let that happen. Also notice, I'm just looking at the daily chart here, just the daily chart. Remember, on a clean and simple base breakout, price is good above the line and bad below. And I'll draw it just so y'all can really see what I'm talking about. A bit of a continuation line, but you get just one long line, okay? There it is. That works. Okay, Paul, I'm ready for more. Thank you. And by the way, all the YouTube folks, thanks for being here.
All right. You would call the line you had drawn, or would you call the line you had drawn a base breakout? Thanks, Paul and Pat.
Did he reference, Paul, did he reference a stock by chance? Which stock?
Just regarding NAS composite chart. Composite chart, would you call the line you had drawn a base breakout?
Okay.
And that may have, I wonder.
Probably right there. That base right there. I just drew it here, okay? But those are clean tops here. This is like, well, this is a double bottom. By the way, this is a great lesson for everybody. A strict double bottom, this low undercuts the previous low. That's the strict double bottom definition, okay? The strictest. Most people don't know that. Shakes out the last of the sellers, okay? But you've got clean tops right here. You could call this a big cup with a handle formation right here. Needs to take out the top of that line. Mosaic, tailing off. Here's an interesting point for everybody. You can see how I have everything color coded. There's divergences right now. The Dow is up. The Nasdaq's down 62 points. I'm not a bear, but I'm just saying at this moment there is a divergence. What does that tell us? Be careful buying a bunch of Nasdaq stocks. That's simple. It guides us. Also, I'll share this with everybody. I love color coding. Green is good, red is bad. It just helps us. Okay, I'm ready. Yeah, we just addressed. Oh, here's real quick. This broke out. See this breakout here? This is why we got to be careful. Here's the 10-minute chart. Had a good breakout. It's pulling back. Be careful with that. Never let a good profit turn into a loss. And the best ones break out and go. And when you get something like this, if it's starting to breach the pivot line, sell some. Sell 20 or 30 or 40%. Sell some. And I'm not day trading. I'm just looking at the day chart, but letting the action guide me. When I factor into the equation that the Nasdaq's lagging, further evidence to manage it. All right, Paul, I'm ready. Thank you, sir, and I'm sorry I interrupted.
Oh, sure. The next one is IWM has some decent volume. This was from almost 10 minutes ago now, so
Let's get her.
May have changed slightly since then.
Yeah, but hey, we'll look at it. IWM pushed through and backed off. Here we go. This is a great tactic. What do? This is for everybody. It's breaking through instantly, early in the morning. Take it to 10. Oh, that's pretty good. It lifted off. Now, what do? It broke out there. Give it to the second bar. See what happens. See what happens. And look what it's done since. Leave it alone for right now until it starts taking out these highs up here. Don't do anything with it. That's simple. Didn't buy it. All right, Paul.
Hello, Pat. Would you consider Lqda long-term base is huge?
Lqda. I don't know what that is. But we're going to look. Thank you for asking. Yes, that's a nice long base. Here's one slight negative. It's a $6 stock, a $5 stock. I don't buy low price stocks. I just, now if you want to, that's fine. But be real careful. Low price stocks, I went to Bill O'Neill's seminars and he used to say that low price stocks are low price for a reason. Okay. And I think the gentleman knows his stuff. So I'm not saying not do it, but just be aware of that. Okay. Just be aware of it. You can say, oh, I can make a lot more percentage wise. Again, they're low priced for a reason. I'd rather go where bigger money can flow into it. And I hope that helps you. By the way, it is a good base. Good eyes on the chart, pattern recognition. Well done. I'm going to do one more thing here. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, it's a low level. This is a monthly. kind of a cup with a handle. Not the best handle, but that's what it is. And there you go. On something like this, team, if you get something like this, runs up and starts to reverse down, you take it to 10. It's okay. Take it to 30-minute. See that reversal bar? That's why we look at 10 and 30 normally early in the mornings. A little bit of selling there. What can a person do on something like that? Okay. You could sell a little bit off, not all of it. Okay. Sell 20%. You're guaranteeing yourself a profit. If you sell 20% of what you own, this stock can fall all the way down to your buy price and you sell the rest, and you still made money. It relieves stress. It minimizes tension, which leads to clearer decision making. And we like that. And there you go. All right, Paul, I'm sure ready for another. Hey, by the way, for everybody listening, thank you for being here and thank you for your questions. I appreciate it.
Okay, I am going to jump a couple of these questions and try and get to the ones that are about stocks. So the very next one was Riven, and that one was for me. Just curious about what you think on that stock.
Okay. Let's take a look here real quick.
There are some more questions, just general questions we can come back to, I think.
Okay. Here we go, Rivian. Thank you. Good question. Paul, thanks for all your help, buddy. You're awesome. I really mean it. Here we go. Here's Rivian. Rivian's below the 50-day moving average line. Be careful with stuff below the 50-day. Also, take a look at this. You want to buy strength? Here's Rivian. Here's the day chart, just going sideways, right? Here we go. Here's Tesla, day chart. How's that one doing? There you go. Here's Lucid, day chart. Still going sideways, but still stronger than Rivian. Focus, though, on the best of the best. Oh, and by the way, what's the other one in that group, team? This one, Ford. How's that? Look at this lifting off and then compare and contrast it with the other one, and you can see why we're in Ford, but not the other. It helps guide us. Focus on strength. I can't stress that enough. Good question, though. Very good question. By the way, team, and this is for everybody, don't ever be afraid to ask a question, all right? And also know this, I will never, ever criticize anybody out here. I don't do that. Like, oh, what are you, stupid? No, we don't do that. That's not conducive to a positive educational environment, all right? So that's just, I taught on the university level years ago, advanced level classes. I don't shut anybody down. So good questions. And you know what's important? It's your money. So I'm glad we're talking. Ford's working. Have you driven a Ford lately? Okay, I'm sorry, I had to say it. This is when my kids just roll their eyes. All right, Paul, we're ready.
All right, MP is the next one. MP. The statement is, looks like it has a good intraday volume.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's a good pickup right there. Materials Corporation. I don't have MarketSmith open. I don't know what group it is or what the numbers are. I can't tell. So always make sure. This is for everybody. Stocks that are in leading groups, this is a fact, not an opinion. This is always research from Bill O'Neill and Company. Stocks that are in leading groups have a greater tendency to outperform other stocks. If you focus on stocks in the top 40 groups that have a high composite rating of over 90 and great numbers, great earnings or sales, and a great chart pattern near 20% of 52-week highs, and no low price stocks, you will dramatically improve your potential and your odds of making money. Okay? You are stacking the deck in your favor. And that is very, very important. Years ago, I taught statistics on a university level. I'm big on working the numbers in my favor. All right? By the way, you can massage statistics to make them lie. I'm not going to get involved with any of that, okay? Especially from a political perspective. I'm just talking about looking at the earnings numbers, looking at the sales numbers. It helps us. It helps us. And I see a question here. Yeah, I wouldn't chase Ford up here, okay? It's too aggressive to make your initial purchase right there. All right, Paul, let's hit another one, buddy.
All right. There's several questions in a row. We're asking about AMD. I think you covered them at the time, but that was almost 10 minutes ago, so it might be worth it.
I'm watching this right now. I don't like the price action, and I'm going to look at 10. There's a little bit of selling action here. I'm going to take a look at 30. Yeah, they're selling here. So what are we going to do with this? We're small to start. We don't have a heavy position, but there's no push. I'm going to sell right now 1/2 of my shares. I will not have any problems. Okay? That's just that's the way I run it. The best ones just push away. By the way, you can say, Pat, what do you mean by that? Right here, we owned this right here. Right here, we owned this here. It just pushes away. And when it doesn't, it's a telltale sign. So what am I doing? I'm selling 1/2 of AMD. And I'll post that before I do it. We keep losses very small. Price is good above the line and bad below. It just makes it easy for us. Can't stress that enough. And again, you can see right here, a little bit of a pullback. I'm not going to argue with it. I don't argue with it. Price is good above, bad below. We keep them small. All righty, Paul, I'm ready.
So again, I'm going to skip over a few of the non-questions about stocks specifically. I think we looked at SMTC. You had taken that question directly off the list.
You are correct.
So from Evelyn, how about FAS?
All right. Hello, Evelyn.
With interest rates rising, would this be a good buy to capture the group?
Hold on a second. This keeps dropping. We're selling the rest of AMD. We're not going to have any problems here. I'm going to load FAS up here real quick. Here we go. Yes, FAS gapped up. Good gap up. You know what would be great? See, it's a big gap up. I wouldn't chase this gap up. What I would do, let's see what she can do. Let's see if it can form a handle here. And that would be very constructive. I'd be careful chasing a big gap up. Open yourself up to more risk. Okay? I mean, you could buy it right here, and this stock could fall all the way down to 136 and still not look that bad on a daily chart. But in the meantime, you're down 7 points. I don't want to be down 7 points. So we'll wait. We'll wait. Okay, I am selling the rest of the AMD. It's not pushing. I am selling AMD. That's it. Ford, by the way, is hitting highs. And that's good to see. There we go. I'm selling Ford. We keep losses very, 7 and 8% losses. You're not going to have it here. We don't allow that. We just don't do that. Okay? Just for what it's worth. Run it like a business. And that helps. Just peeling out of several accounts here with this. There we go. Now what do I do with it? I drag it down here. And I take the alert off and raise that. And I'm done with it. By the way, this will also help you, team. If you have any stocks that have negative energy on you, after you've done so with them, take them off your front page. Negative energy is not conducive to moving forward with stocks. I will tell you that from a psychological perspective. That looks good. Okay. Paul, I'm ready for another one, buddy.
All right. How about the IPO base of STRN? It's a $6 stock. He recognizes that.
Okay. Get rid of these bars. So we have a better picture of this. Yeah, I can see that right there. Sure. It's a little loose. Okay. I mean, folks, this stock went up from $7 basically all the way down to 5. 7 to 5, you could say that's only 2 points. Percentage-wise, how much is that? That's serious. Be careful with that. But you've got clean tops right here across here. What do you do next? Take it to the hourly. Here it is. Draw the line. There you go. Take out those tops, but it needs to do it on really good volume. Also, please be aware of this. I don't know what the fundamentals are on this, okay? So I gotta share that with you. Just, it's a $6 stock. Be careful with lower price stocks. I don't buy stocks that are under basically 10 or 12 bucks. I just don't buy them. So there it is. I don't know what the fundamentals are though. Do your homework. Focus on stocks that are in leading groups, the top 40 groups with 40% earnings or 40% sales growth and a relatively high composite rating. Combine all those variables together. And the reason I point this out is because a person can quickly fly out of control. I'm not saying you will, the person that's asking, but just be aware of that. And I hope that helps you. The Nasdaq comp is at lows of the day, by the way. You see this? Notice we weren't going crazy buying a bunch of stuff yesterday. There you go. What we've got is running. Okay, Paul, let's do some more because this is fun.
All righty. The next list of stocks, GM.
Don't even have it in my database. Let me punch it in here real quick. Hold on. Picking up today, and that's good to see. All right. Wait a second. We got to refresh this. Missing the data bar here. Follow through there. Highly unusual. I'm not getting that data bar. I'm going to load this on MarketSmith real quick. Hold on just a second. We're going to take a look. Never happened before. General Motors, clean tops across there. It's in a great group. You know, it's the number one group, right? Ford's in that group. By the way, it has a composite rating of 80, no numbers at all, okay? Earnings per share ranks 43, relative strengths 83. Bigger picture cup and a handle formation on the weekly on General Motors, all right? Cross tops. Just for what it's worth, it's not a real leader in the group. Ford's got a composite rating of 87, just comparing and contrasting for what it's worth. Just pointing that out to you. I'm not saying don't buy it, but also taking a look at the chart, the stock's gone from 55 to 65, just pushed through the 200-day recently. Made a big move just to get here. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. There you go. And I'm sure ready for the next one.
All right. OMI, Oscar Mike Indigo.
Okay. Well, look at how that lifted up and dropped back down. Let's take a look at OMI. All right, there's the chart. Decent base right here. Pushed above these tops. Take it down to 10 minutes. See how it did at the beginning. Yeah, I had pretty good volume on that bar. Look at that bar. That's good. And by default, then I know it was good on 30. We'll go here and go back to the daily. There was a base breakout through here. I'll draw it for you just to help you. And it's relatively clean and simple. There it is. It's nothing fancy. That's what you want. Push through that top and do it on really good volume. And again, take it to 30 minutes. And it had good volume. Now here's the telltale sign for you though, okay? I'm gonna take this line off and show you all something. Always note on every bar, the open, the high, the low, the close, and volume. Opened, look at the high. Look at where it closed. It closed in the bottom fourth of its range. That is a negative. Be careful. What does that tell us? This is a bar that was met with heavy selling volume. Be careful with that. Watch out for that, okay? Strong bars close near their highs. Weak bars close in the bottom third of their range. That's an important lesson for everybody. There you go. We can do another one if you like, Paul.
MXL.
Max Linear. Got it. Y'all ask good questions. I like it.
Pat, we've got two more stocks that folks would like you to look at, and then if you have time, there's just some general questions to go
Sure.
back through too.
Oh, good.
There's about 8 or 9 of those.
Sounds good, Paul. Thank you, buddy. Max Linear. It's just, see this? It gapped up. I'm going to make this bigger for everybody. It gapped up, it ran up, and it's trading near its lows of the day. You can't do anything with it now. It needs to take out the highs of today before I'd be interested in it. Okay? Also know it's a little slower in here. Like it moves, it's like, oh, that's a big move. It's a couple dollars. So it breaks out of a base and it doesn't go very far. So just for what it's worth. There you go. And I hope that helps you. Thank you. All right, Paul.
TSM.
Goldman Sachs is lifting. Tower Semiconductor. Here we go. I don't have it in my base, so we're going to put her in right now. The good thing is this, you're looking at in a good group. And this is another one. I'm not getting today's charts. We'll go here. Continuation through here. That's good to see. I would be careful chasing it though, okay? That is aggressive. I'm going to look at the weekly on this real quick. Yeah, the weekly isn't updating. I'll have to reboot my computer. I can't do that now while we're online, okay? I would not. It's making a good lift. Here's the 30-minute chart. It's made a fast lift. That's good to see. It looks great in that respect. If you own it, good job. I would not chase price up here. If this is for everybody that's listening, please don't buy this up here. It's too extended from the break, okay? Buy right, sit tight. Be careful chasing price. Always. All right, Pablo, I'm ready, sir. Triton. I think that's Triton, isn't it? Jove, I got it right. Yeah, it's lifting off. It's just forming a base here. This is a double bottom by the way. Team, I'll share this with everybody. In the strictest sense, a double bottom base, the best double bottom bases put in a lower low. Why? It shakes out the last of the sellers. That's a little constructive input for you. And it did. This low is lower than this low. That's a double bottom, the classic double bottom. Also notice when it lifted off the bottom, it did it on a pickup in volume. That's constructive. Lift it up. Bounced off the 200 day. It's picking up now. It's a decent advance. You've got clean tops going across here. You had decent volume yesterday. Now here's a great lesson for everybody. People just look at it and say, oh, it's a green bar, that's great. Note the open on this bar. Note the high, the low, the close. It closed below where it opened. So there's no volume in it today at all, so far. It needs to push above this white line on really heavy volume. But factor this into the equation. It had to move a lot. 8 points just to get to the pivot off that low. Be careful with that. The best thing it could do, and I'm not saying it will, is to form a small handle here. And then you have what? A nice cup with handle formation. That would be constructive. There you go. Good question. All righty, Paul, we're ready to roll.
All right. TM is the next one.
Never mind. Never mind. Just kidding. There's a story that goes with it that is kind of fun, though. Sometime I'll tell you all a story. Tom, Nancy, I don't have a chart on that. Tom, Mary. Okay, Toyota, I think that is, right? I think that's Toyota Motors. Yes. Okay, gapped up
My
today.
apologies.
No, not to worry, buddy. Gapped up today. All right, that's good. No, this is a foreign stock, and foreign stocks have a tendency to be more gappy. That is not a criticism of foreign stocks, but just be aware of it. They do. I mean, oh, it looks good, and then it gaps down, goes up, runs up, gaps up, then gaps down. You're going to get with a lot of foreign stocks. That's not a criticism. It's just an observation. So be aware of that. Gapped up today, large, big gap up. If you buy this up here, don't go too big. All right, it could be a little bit riskier. Here's the weekly, and so it's decent on the weekly, but just be careful of that. All right, I mean, look, runs up here and look what it does on the weekly. That would hurt. Runs up here and falls. Just careful with that. When you see stocks that there's a lot of price gaps, I'm not telling you not to buy them. I'm just saying control risk by not going big, okay, to help yourself. And people say, well, then I won't make as much money. And my response is, given the gappiness, you will not lose as much. There you go. Good question, by the way. They're all good questions. Okay, Paul.
The next one, NVDA, and I'm positive I got all those letters right this time.
NVIDIA. Boy, NVIDIA's been good to us. Wow. Right here, it's basing. Until it lifts through here and starts to lift off, there's nothing to do with it. You'll just have to leave it alone. I'm going to pause here and share something with you too. This is something we do at Mission Winners. It's called the higher low setup. And this is a great setup. I'm going to show you two examples. You see right here, it falls down. Then it rallies up to the 50-day and it falls down. This low is higher than this low. We made a video on this for VIP saying if it takes out the tops of this bar, that's bar. It closed okay on a slight pickup in volume, some buying pressure, and it takes off this bar right here, setup, and yeah, it paid over 120, 130 points. There it is. Focus on those. That's good. You can say, really, has there been any other recent higher low setups? Yes, right here. Higher, low. This low is higher than this low. When this was closing near these highs, we bought right in here several times, a couple of times. There it is, the higher low setup. It works. Get excited about this stuff, gee whiz. There we go. Ford's still working. That's good to see. All right, Paul, go ahead and hit me with the next one. And then I got to get some water.
MC.
NC, Nancy Charlie?
M.
Mary Cat,
M.
thank you.
MC. Like MC Hammer.
There you go, Molus. Okay, just go inside. Here, this is a great question. Look at this. Now here's two negatives for you. It gapped down. This was a gap down. It wasn't on heavy volume, but it gapped down. And this is another very important point, okay? It gapped down and it is now below a falling. You will dramatically improve your investing results if you say to yourself, I will only buy stocks above a rising 50-day moving average line. And somebody goes, well, then you'll miss some. Again, I was involved in probabilities. Let's stack the deck in our favor. Be careful with it. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but why not buy strength? So far, this isn't exhibiting any strength. That's a great question, by the way. Good questions. CX is still working. All right, Paul, let's do another one, should we?
All right, I think this is going to be the last ticker question, and then if Rich will let us have just a little bit of time, maybe we can go back and hit some of the YouTube questions Are some of the longer questions. So the next one is MVO.
Okay, let's do it.
Michael Victor Oscar.
Here we go. All right, good. MV Oil Trust. It's a nice long base. I'll draw it for us. Here's one slight concern. Heavy selling volume. Look at these skyscraping sell bars, these red bars. Also, this is for everybody. It's good to color code your price and volume bars. I have green for up, red for down. That's simple. We're visual. Chart readers are visual. And so a lot of selling in here, okay? It's just going sideways. I don't know what group it's in. I don't know what the earnings or sales are. I don't know what the composite rating is. It's a clean and simple base. What would you be looking for? You could draw with a crayon. Don't do that on your monitors. Messes them up. Clean and simple base. Just let it work. But more importantly, if you don't own it, and you shouldn't yet, it needs to take out this top. And what does it need to do? It needs to take out that top, that's clean and simple line, with volume. That's the key. Volume tells me people see it and they're voting. We want people seeing what we see and voting with us. And it's measured in volume. Ford's looking good. Have you driven a Ford lately? Okay, Pablo, we can sure do another one if you'd like.
Alrighty. So how does Baidu make the max list?
Great question. It was on this list. It's been on this list for years. This company. That's why it stayed on the list. Now, am I overthinking it? No, it's below the 200-day. Here's a lesson for everybody, a foundation for everybody. You see a stock below the falling 50-day and 200-day, just move on. Don't think about it. But could this come back? Yes, I could show you other stocks. I could show you other max list stocks that got creamed and came back. Now, am I saying this one's going to? I don't know the future, but I'll give it more time and see. Maybe eventually it'll come off the list. That's simple. Same thing with Alibaba. By the way, I need to stress this again. When I'm scanning the charts, I don't need to overthink it. Just go to the next one. It's that simple. We're going to do something real quick here. Apple looks good on it. Amazon, there's nothing good here. This was great up here, but right now there's nothing happening. Alibaba's nothing. Baidu's nothing. You see how fast you can do that? Facebook, you see this line right here, folks? See that price alert? If this starts taking this out, this is a key list stock. Guess what? This is a max list stock. This takes this out, we'll be buying it. Google's nothing happening yet. Goldman Sachs, we discussed it already, lifting up. MasterCard lifted up a little bit, okay? It's really been lagging, but it's starting to come back. Microsoft is nothing. Netflix is nothing. You can say, this is dead. Wasn't dead there, was it? That's our first buy right there. That's serious money. I've got a limit alert going off. We're going to look at Ford. We'll watch this, see what happens. Okay, enough of that. Let's keep on going, Paul. Let's do more.
Alrighty. Good morning, Pat. Happy New Year. Why did you trade LCID? Although it's in a good industry, it has no sales EPS growth, comp rating of 60. Did you select it just on technicals?
Great question. I have a couple of fundamental and technical screens, and I will share one of them with you that I have used for years. Stocks in the top 10 groups have a greater tendency to outperform other stocks, and that's a quantitative statement. And so what do? One of my screens are stocks in the top 10 groups that have a high composite rating, but also a good chart. Lucid made the cut. By the way, that was good price volume relationships on that yesterday. See that? Approaching the 50-day. There you go. And again, it's in the top 10 groups. That helps. That helps a lot. If it wasn't in the top 10 groups, it wouldn't have been on the key list. But it is. That's one of our constraints. Good question, though. Great question. By the way, you hear that limit alert going off? That's the Nasdaq comp, and it's lagging a little bit. So we'll watch that and see. All right, Paul. Hey, good question, by the way. Great questions.
All right.
I love them. I love them. Keep asking them. Just don't ask me who my barber is. I'm
All
ready,
right.
Paul.
Next question. Hey, Mr. Walker, thank you very much for your interview with Richard Moglen. I
Yeah,
loved it.
thank
Do
you.
you have a hard rule about how many percents your stop loss is, like 7 in Canslim?
Great question. Yes, I percentage-wise, we could say 7 or 8%, but this is also very important. This is why, and VIPs know it, I am wired really tight about the chart entries. Price is good above the line. See that line? Price is good above the line and bad below. By so doing, I focus again on really clean and simple chart entries. That allows me to run and control risk much better. I'm always looking here. I can show you an example. I could show you a bunch of examples. Here's one right here. There's Netflix. You can say, I don't see squat right here. How about here? See the clean and simple base? Right there. It's good above the line and it's bad below. And it runs and it runs and it runs. I focus on this. Here's another one for you. Microsoft. See that clean and simple baseline right there? It's good above the line and it's bad below. By so doing, I need to elaborate a bit on this. This is an important question. When I say it sounds flippant and I don't mean it that way. Price is good above the line and bad below. By so doing, it means the losses can be much smaller. I don't need 7 to 8% losses. By the way, off the record, Bill O'Neill said he preferred to keep losses much less than 7 to 8% also. There you go. So there it is. There it is. By the way, Bill O'Neill is one of my heroes, and I'm grateful I got to sit down and have lunch with him. Guy helped change my life. I will tell you that. Now, credit where credit's due. But it's good above the line, and it's bad below. And when it's pushing through, you want it to push through and keep going. There you go. Good question. We've got more red coming into this monitor here. You see this? Okay, here we go. I'm going to lock in more profits for you on ANET. If you own ANET, I would sell 1/2 of remaining shares. Lock in more profits. All right? Don't let profits turn into losses. Lock in more. If you own ANET, yes, I do watch these stocks. This is fun too. Just sell 50% of what you own. Okay? And I'm posting it. Now, and then I do this. Sell 1/2 of your remaining ANET. And don't let a good profit turn into a loss. Tesla's dropping a little bit. See those tops up there on Tesla? See that top up there? So here's what we're going to do with Tesla. I'm going to advise you to sell 25% of your shares and lock in some profits. You're in great shape. I mean, great shape. Sell just 1/4. Don't sell all of it. Just sell 25%. And I'll post it for you.
Hey, Pat, when you're done there,
Sure. Let me just post it real quick. Thank you for all your help, Paul. There you go. By the way, Paul is a computer wizard. He's one of the few people I've never met, only 2 other people like him. No, 1 other person like him. And that's it. When I moved into a new house about 22 years ago, Paul came over and set up all my computer stuff. And Paul, I'll just tell you this, because of you, I was able to make some money. Thank you.
you're
You're,
quite
you're,
welcome.
you are a
Hey,
wizard,
Pat.
brother. Yep.
Pat, I think Owen has, or Rich is saying we need to cut the session off because Owen has a couple of things he needs to say.
Okay.
For all the questions that weren't answered, I'll start posting those over to Twitter and have Pat answer them there.
Sounds like a winner. Thank
All
you all
right?
very much. I'll turn it over to Owen. Keep going. There's a great quote and a great mindset. I never met a wealthy pessimist. Look for opportunities. Study past winners. You'll find the opportunities, train your eyes and minds, and that helps us. And by the way, Happy New Year to all of you. All of you. I wish all of you health and success. And I thank you.
Thanks, Pat. Hey, great session. Hey, Owen here. I know there's a lot of questions. I want to thank everyone who joined us from, visiting today on YouTube. And I know there's a lot of questions that we didn't get to. I was going to try to field some of those along with information about what we do and how we do it. I know there's a lot of questions on things like that. We get them in Twitter and via email. So if you want to come back in an hour at 11:30 Eastern, I'm going to come back on and do a live, maybe about a half an hour, and just answer some questions about whatever happens to be on your mind. So join us back there. Rich is probably going to make a link for us for YouTube, and he'll help me monitor it. Maybe Paul will too. Paul, can you be back in about an hour or two?
Yes, sir.
Paul probably turned off his mic.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Great. All right. Thanks, everyone.